Hi everyone, this is Christina with the Quiet Cat Paper Company. Thanks so much for joining me again today. Today we're going to do two pages, pages 4 and 5 in mini album 2. These are the pages we've already done. This is page 1. And then we did page 2, which has these two little pockets with the flaps. And then we did this page last time, which has the double flip and a pocket. And it's held with magnets. Okay, so today we are going to do page 4, which is a very, very simple page, and then we're going to do 5, which is a little bit more complicated. Let me show you. All right. Okay, so these are the pages we just looked at that we did. We've done this, we've done this, we've done this one. And now we are going to do this one, which just has a belly band, and we're going to make the envelope insert for it later. And then we're going to make this page, which has a flip that is an envelope, and then a pocket, okay? So we're going to do both of these today because this one should only take a couple of minutes, so we should have time to do 2. Slide that to the side. All right, so here's our guide. This is available in my Etsy shop. We've already done up to, as you can see, it's fully illustrated with tips and cutting guides. All right, and we did page 3 already. And today we're going to do pages 4 and 5. All right, and we'll talk a little bit more about the envelope for page 5 when we get to that, but let's go ahead and do page 3 first. I'm just going to set this aside. Excuse me, page 4 we're doing. All right, let me grab my scoreboard because we're going to need that. And let me get that out of the way. Get myself organized here. And there's our mat. Okay, so what we need is the page that we just finished. And be very careful, it's got a top and a bottom, so you don't want to be, well, it's a belly band, so you really can't mess around. But when you're doing these, you really want to be aware all the time of what's top, what's bottom. So all you need for this is the base and the belly band. And the belly band you need to cut 2 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. All right? And take your scoreboard. You're going to place the belly band 5.5 inches across. Grab my tool here. Give this a score. Okay, where'd my tool go? Okay, well, this one looks awfully small. I'm not going to use it because I don't see the other one. So I'm going to score this at 5. Whoops, that's probably using one that's too small. And at half. Okay, and that's it. Okay. Now, normally you trim the corners off of your tabs. In this case, it's really not necessary. So I'm going to fold that over. Burnish, fold it over, and give it a burnish. And you want to take your base page and you want to lay this piece on it and just make sure that it fits, okay? And it does, okay. Make any adjustments if you need to. Just rescore or fiddle with the score line if you need to. We're going to put the tape on this side. So, and there we go. Now this piece goes on here. The reason that we're putting this piece on before the base is the base will slide in over these tabs and hide them. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. Peel back the tape. If you remember, the page on the other side has a center gap between these 2 folds, and I'm just going to center my belly band just by eyeball right along the edge over that gap. Okay, and then it just folds over like that. It's pretty good. There we go. And there. That is literally all you have to do there. And then the only other thing we have to do is mat this. So I'm gonna grab my mats. I went ahead, I chose this for the background and I chose this for the belly band. And actually I chose this for the belly band. The reason I went with nothing too dramatic on either of these pieces is you're going to put something large under this belly band that's going to be decorative, and this belly band's wide enough that you'll be able to put something decorative here, either a chipboard element or some stickers or some flowers or whatever you want when you get to the embellishing stage. So pretty much this whole page is a background for other things you're going to add later. So that's why I made the choices I did for these mats. I'm going to go ahead and get them inked up. Again, this is Distress Oxide Walnut Stain from Ranger. I really like this particular paper. Okay, now we're going to do the inside first. Again, be careful. This is a directional print. I want to make sure that it's right side up. Let me grab my glue. If you've got a fairly flexible paper, and actually this one is, you could slide it in, get it about where you want it, lift it up, and then glue it, and then press it down again. However, I'm just gonna do it my usual way and just glue it. I am terrible about putting the pin back in my glue, so sometimes it gets a little crusty up around the tip. All right, there we go. All right, now, and look, since I just said I'm bad about it, let me see if I can get that back in there. There we go. All right, so what you need to do is slide this under the belly band. Oop, I got a little glue. That's all right. Oops. Right here. This is being tricky. Okay, there we go. Don't catch. Don't catch. All right, there we go. Sometimes talking to it helps. All right. There we go. And press down. Okay, here we go. Oops, I want to make sure that's firmly stuck. And then this piece is going to go there. This will be much easier. Okay. And we want to center it side to side, and we want it even top to bottom with the other mat. Because there's quite a bit of bulk on the other side of this page, this curves a little bit, so make sure you, I don't know if you can see, sort of angle your tool and get that mat to curve around too, so that it presses down well. Okay, that is all we have to do for this page, and I think it looks really cute. And you know, we'll make something to put inside this later on, but if you are using this maybe for your vacation pictures, trip to the beach, something like that, you could just slide some postcards or photos in here, memento of some sort. You don't have to make something to put in here, but we're going to. All right, so we'll be right back. I'm just going to take a little break. I'm going to go wash my hands, and and come back, because you can see I've got ink all over them, and we're going to do the next page, which is a lot of fun. It's got that envelope, and we'll talk about the envelope first. I'll be right back. All right, let us do page 5, and I'm going to show it to you this again. So this is the page we're going to do, and it is not difficult. It's just got a couple of things going on. The pocket certainly is very easy, and the envelope is not difficult either. It's just a few steps, that's all. Now about the envelope, let me talk about that a little bit. If you have purchased the guide, and here is the guide, and we are up to now page 5. This is the page that we're going to do. In the guide itself, at the back, you will find this page where it says envelope template. See that? This is the template for the envelope. And then on the next page are the mats for that envelope. Now, if you have not purchased the guide and you don't want to purchase the guide, you can use whatever envelope you have that will fit the page. And let me get that back out again. So this is the one we're going to use. If you can find an envelope that's this height, you can use it. If you have an envelope punch board, you can make an envelope to fit. If you can't get an envelope exactly the right size, it's okay to go smaller. I would not go bigger. I don't think that would look nice. But if your envelope's a little bit smaller, that would be okay. So you've got a few choices of how to go about it. I'm going to show you how to do it with this envelope. I do think it would be easier to do with an envelope that's not already made, but it won't be difficult. And this closes, by the way, with a magnet. Okay, so let's get started first with the envelope. And I'm going to grab our directions, and I want to tell you what you'll need, which is not much. You're going to need a piece of cardstock, and I did not use the artisan cardstock for this envelope. I'd use something a little bit lighter weight. I just think it's going to fold better for this particular envelope and be less bulk in that center seam. From the cardstock, you're going to need the envelope. You're going to need a little piece. It's 1 inch by 4.5 inches. Okay, and this is a flange that we're going to use later on to attach this envelope into the book. And then for the pocket, you're going to need a piece 5.5 by 4.5. So I'm going to set the flange and the pocket aside for now. Put those together so I don't lose them. And then this is the envelope. Okay. What I did is you could either print the page that has the envelope out and just cut it out, or you could do the same thing, print it out onto a heavy cardstock, cut it out, and use it as a template to trace around, and that's what I did. And now I'm going to cut this piece out. Okay, here's our envelope, and now we need to score it. Now, what you need to do when you score this, because I wanted you to be able to print it and not have any marks on your paper, there aren't any score lines. But what you need to score is from inner corner to inner corner all the way around. So here, 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 and here, okay? Oops, oh my goodness, that wasn't too straight. There we go. Oh my goodness, there we go. All right. Let's see. this template is hand drawn, so it may be a little funky. The one that's in the book, I loaded it into Photoshop and sort of straightened it up a little bit. It's there and there. Okay. I don't know if you can see, and I need to darken them up. I can show you how I did it. On the every inch line, I just took a Sharpie and ran down like so. There, just to make it easier to see some of those lines. All right, set that aside. Now, all right, so we're going to fold these two sides in. I'm not going to glue any of this yet because we need to do some matting first. All right, so I'm going to put that up and fold that down, and that's our envelope. Okay, like so. We're going to set this aside for a minute and work on our pocket. Grab that. Grab my scoreboard again. Pocket, you're going to put the 5.5 inch edge along the top. This is like that. Let me just double check. I want to make sure I don't do that wrong. Grab that. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes you do things so many times and then you go to do it again and you think, that doesn't look right. That is right. So you've got the 5.5, you're going to score it a half. And then you score it. You're scoring it at a 1/2 inch and at 5 inches. Turn it 90 degrees and score it at a 1/2 inch again. Okay. Let me set that aside. Okay. Fold and burnish all of your score marks. This is going to go on one of the base pages that you made. Excuse me, reaching right past you there. And I'm going to grab a new base page because we finished with the first two. So this is our third. And you want to just fold up your pocket. The pocket, okay, so let's lay this out. This is going to be the spine. This is going to be the side pocket insert. This pocket that you just made is going to rest right up against the spine. So you just want to check it for fit. See if you need to adjust anything, and it looks good. We don't need to. All right, so let's go ahead and tape it up and trim the corners, which again you can do in any order you like. I'm going to do it after. We're going to be trimming these corners out, so you don't need to worry about getting the tape all the way to the corner. Let's burnish that tape down. If you don't burnish the tape when you put it down, sometimes when you try to pull the backing off the tape, you end up pulling up the tape. So give it a good burnish. And let's trim the corners, just like every other pocket and flap we've done pretty much. Now, when you attach this, let me just pre-fold it. Again, it's going to go here, but your envelope is also going to go here. So you're going to attach it close to, but not right up against that edge. Leave yourself like maybe a 1/16 of an inch. Can you see if you can see that? Because you want to have room for that envelope to flip as well. All right, so we're going to lift just like a regular pocket. I'm going to use Jennifer from Genevieve's trick, where you lift up the sides and then put the bottom to give you that little space to insert things without getting caught. All right, so let's pull the tape off. And we're going to line this up with the top edge. And like I said, you're going to leave yourself just a little hair, maybe a 1/16 of an inch on the side. There we go. Okay, there's the pocket. Now we need to do the envelope. Set this aside for the moment. All right, now the way that this page goes together is we're going to add a flange here. It's going to get inserted in the side, and it's going to flip over, and we're going to need a magnet here. So we're going to wait to mat this until this is in place. It's easier to mat the envelope flat before it's folded. Certainly for these side pieces, they need to be done first. So what we're going to do is we're going to mat the envelope, but not this lower flap. We're going to mat the rest of the envelope, then we're going to insert it in here, we're going to add the magnet, mat this, and then mat the rest, okay? So you can choose multiple papers for the envelope. I decided on just using the one paper, this one here, and I also am using one of the ephemera cards, which I'm going to double mat here. So let's lay the envelope out flat. Okay. And I didn't pick anything yet for in here, because I'll put something there, but I don't know what, and it can wait until later, so let's go ahead and get these matted. Again, we're not going to mat this piece, because that's where the flange is going to go, and the mat is going to hide the flange. So it needs to go after. Be careful if you're using something directional on an envelope. You know, pay attention to how it folds and how your design is going to end up looking when it's folded. These mats are in the guide, which you can just print out and use as templates, or just print them directly onto your pattern paper and cut them out. And grab a little paper towel. I don't know if I mentioned at the start of the video that this paper is Sun-Kissed by Graphic 45, and it is very, very pretty. Let's see, I marked these. This is the left. This one goes here. Because I hand drew the ones I'm using, they may not be quite symmetrical. The ones in the guide are pretty symmetrical, but still doesn't hurt to pay attention to left and right. That. Okay. In addition to the Graphic 45 paper line and Patterns and Solids, I'm also using this very pretty navy cardstock it's the Artisan cardstock from Country Craft Creations. And it's beautiful cardstock. I did not, however, use the white for this envelope because I wanted something a little thinner. And not that the Artisan doesn't crease and fold beautifully, it does, but just for this I wanted to use something else. Okay, there's that. And remember, we're not doing this, don't forget, because once you've glued something down with art glitter glue, you're not getting it up. You'd have to start over if you forget, so. if you want to get the guide, which includes this envelope template, I'm double checking the direction of this paper. That's available on my Etsy shop. There'll be a link down below. Let's get that there. Okay. Now, I actually think I ended up putting that upside down, but it doesn't matter because I'm covering it up. All right, so I just want to be doubly sure that I'm doing this right, because this is going to go here. Okay. This piece goes like this. If you're purchasing the Graphic 45 collections, it is well worth getting the ephemera packs, even if you don't use them in the same project as the paper. There's just so many great cards, and almost all of them have journaling spots on the back. You can use them for a lot of things. Okay, so this piece is, you're not going to be able to, it's not the same dimensions, so you're just going to have to center it side to side, and you're going to have, you know, different amount top to bottom than you do side to side, which is fine, but that's kind of why I chose a pattern paper that blends well with it, so it's not so obvious. Okay. All right. There's that. Now, these fold like this, and you can line this area, and I'm definitely going to line this. I just haven't decided with what yet. But we're going to go ahead and seal the envelope with some art glitter glue. Oops. My goodness. All right. So usually, I just sort of sneak a pencil line underneath where this is going to be, like that. Okay, so you're going to glue right down here and across, and then up and stop just shy of the point. Again, we're going to go down here and across, and then up here. Whoops, I just stuck my thumb right in the glue. Very well done, Christina. And then we're going to go up here and stop just shy of the point. Okay, and then just fold it over. Mark there, but that's all right. We are going to mat it. So eventually this mat here is going to go here. But first we need to put the flange on and the magnet. But first we're going to do the flange. So you cut this little piece, which I believe it's 1 inch, is it 1 inch wide? Yeah, 1 inch by 4.5. So take that, place it in your scoreboard, and score it at 1/2 inch. So basically you're scoring it down the middle. Okay. And then trim the corners. Like that. Okay. Pin back in the glue. Put my scissors away. Trying to keep my area neat. I've got kind of a small area to work in, so I don't like it to get too cluttered. Right, so fold this in half. It didn't really quite go in half, but that's all right. For our purposes, it's fine. And what we're going to do, here's our envelope. We're going to attach this here, the base of the envelope. Okay, so check it for fit. Looks a little bit long, so I'm going to trim it. All right, let's try that again. And that looks good. Okay, so we're going to add this here. So let's do that first. We're going to put some tape right there. Oh, it looks like my kitty has come to help me. So if you hear some heavy breathing, That's him. All right, doesn't really matter which side we tape first. Oops. What's that? And I like to tape these one at a time because I have a habit of losing track and end up putting the tape in the wrong place. Looks like I snipped a little of that, but that's okay. Burnish that really well. Take this off, and you're going to center it on the very bottom edge of your envelope, like that. Okay, right there. All right, so now you have this little flange on the bottom. Take your base piece. That flange is going to be inserted into the side where the spine is going to go, right there. See that? So that's going to go like that. Of course, that's going to go in, right? You want to get it centered, all right? So the tape for that needs to go here. Let's put that on. And this tape, you want to go close to the cut edge of your tab, not the score edge, because as with all of these flaps and things that you insert, you need to leave a little gap there so that it doesn't bind up when you try to do the actual flipping. Okay. Now, again, we're going to mat this in a minute, but we want to get this magnet on, and it's easier to get the magnet on once you've attached this pocket. So we're going to go ahead and, or rather this envelope. All right, so we're going to put that up. See, it's got an opening, just like all the other ones we've done. You want to insert it, and you want to leave yourself, you know, a fair bit of room because it has to fold up and over this pocket. So don't go, you know, immediately up against that fold, the score line. Okay, and over. And that looks pretty good. It's sticking up right there for some reason. Not sure what that's all about, but I think we're all right. Okay, so now we're going to do the magnets. Let's grab a couple more magnets. And you could use smaller ones. I do have some smaller ones. Let's see. Maybe I'll use these. These are also basic grays, but these are the small ones. Okay, I'm going to put that there. Okay. And let's take, actually I don't want to take the backing off until I've got it in place. All right, so we're putting, I need scrap that's long enough for me to reach. All right, that should do. Okay, let's take the backing off. Okay, and then just fold it over, press it down. Okay, just like that. And now this mat is going to go here and hide that magnet. So let's go ahead and do that. Quite like this orange stripe, so oops, sorry, I think I'm out of the frame. I'm going to use that for the inside of the envelope. Looks like I shifted my envelope up a little bit when I was attaching it, but that's okay. that closes like that. All right. I know. I'm starting to think maybe I should have used a bigger magnet. That's all right, though. This piece is going to go here. That. Yeah, I definitely should use the bigger magnet. Okay, you use the bigger magnet. Learn from my error. All right, and then this is going to go in here, like this. It's going to be really cute. Inserted there, and I don't think I gave you measurements for the mats, so let me go ahead and do that. I always seem to forget that. Okay, now, make sure I didn't glue anything shut. Okay, so the measurements for these mats, let me give you those. I mean, certainly I appreciate it if you buy my guidebook, which has all these measurements. However, I don't want you to have to buy it if you don't want to make the book. So let me give you the measurements. All right, so the mats, the pocket, which is this, you need one that's 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. And for this base, you need one that's 4 1/4 by about 3. It sticks down there, so you've got a little fudge room there. Okay, now the envelope, I can't really help you. You'll have to mat, depending on what you decide to use for an envelope. If you use the one that comes with the guidebook, then you're all set. The mats are in there. Okay. And again, I used a small magnet here. I recommend you use a large one. And I may go ahead and put another, like a large one here and a large one here, and then cover them with some sort of ephemera or something. Because I just feel like it's not, no, it's not bad really. I guess it's holding all right. We'll see. Okay. And I definitely folded my envelope funky, but that's okay too. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. That's terrible. I'm sitting there pointing out all my errors. You shouldn't do that. Whenever I used to teach embroidery, and I would always tell people, like, don't point out errors. Most people aren't even going to notice them until you sit there and be like, look at this mistake I made right here. Okay, so try not to point them out like I'm doing. Anyway, so that's that. That's page 5. So we are moving right along. Next time, obviously, we're going to do page 6, which, let me see if I can. Oh, let me grab the book. All right, so next time is a fun one. We're just going to do this little stair-step waterfall. Super easy. And if we have time, we may even do this flat page. But certainly we're going to do this page next time. So, thank you so much for watching. Good luck with the page. It's really not that difficult at all. I hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I post the next video. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Thank you so much for watching.